Good morning. Well, first of all, on behalf of EIHA, I would like to thank the CBD Show for inviting us to speak at these events. We are looking forward to next year live events, but well, first of all, we would like to thank, as said, the organizers, the speakers, and all the participants. My name is Victoria Tryano, and I'm the Communications and Advocacy Officer at EIHA. And today I'm here with Lorenza Romanese, our Managing Director at the European Industrial Hemp Association. And well, today, instead of doing a presentation, like standard presentation, we decided to opt for different formats, which we believe it's much more engaging and interesting for you. So I've gathered a couple of most frequently asked questions that we receive, and Lorenza will reply to them on the spot. So Lorenza, are you ready?
Absolutely, Vicky, yes.
Perfect. So first of all, I'm going to start with the bits of regulation. So following the ruling of the Canavape court case last year, has the regulatory framework regarding hemp improved? Is it more clear somehow?
Well, the Canavape court case certainly gave to the entire sector important messages. These messages have been heard as well by authorities. And we are in the meantime where the authorities are reflecting and integrating this principle within the European acquis, which is the basic set of rule of Europe. So it's an incredibly complicated and legally detailed work that the Commission is currently doing. Nevertheless, what we have seen since the Canavape court case is there are some good results as local courts. There are court cases going on local level, some in Austria, some in Germany. In Germany, more related to the leaves, the status of leaves, in other countries as well, linked to traditional or not traditional food. So there are small, good, positive results coming from court case in France, Germany, and Austria. But nevertheless, what I said at the beginning is that we really need an harmonized approach at the European level, and this will take a little bit longer.
And do we know when we could expect this harmonized approch, as you said?
Just to be clear, it will be the interpretation of the European Commission as regards to the Canavape court case and the ruling of the Court of Justice. So we had the date was set, was the 5th of July. This should have been the day where we would have had our civil dialogue group. Civil dialogue group is where stakeholders are invited by the European Commission to attend some meetings and discuss with the authorities. And we have the occasion to decide and to propose a topic on the agenda. So then the agenda was set on the 5th of July. It was about the flower and the status of flowers and leaves in Europe. But nevertheless, we have been informed recently that the European Commission and the legal services of the European Commission have not finalized the interpretation. Therefore, the meeting, the civil dialogue group, has been postponed later on this year. We don't know yet the date, and at this moment, so let's keep it a little bit broad to reply to your question, Vicky. It would be in autumn 2021.
Perfect. So now that we are speaking about CBD, I think it makes sense now to talk just a little bit about the Novel Food Consortium. So maybe it would be interesting if you could summarize a bit the consortium, what is it, why it is important for the sector, and also where we are at with the process.
Summarize when it comes to novel food and the consortium of EIHA is complicated. Nevertheless, let's try. So very quickly, January 2019, the catalog, the novel food catalog has changed. In this moment, leaves, flower, and extract are a novel food. Therefore, they need a pre-market authorization. The food business operator needs a pre-market authorization before marketing this product. This authorization is costly, is complicated. Therefore, we have decided to create a parallel entity within EIHA, which is called EIHA GmbH, Project GmbH, that would have allowed our member to partner together within this GmbH and to create the so-called Novel Food Consortium, meaning an umbrella entity that will submit different novel food applications on the behalf of our members. Why we need to join? We need to join because if, and it is the case, if we believe in full spectrum products, we know that some studies are missing. And studies are the toxicological studies I'm referring to. And toxicological studies are very, very costly. While we have some data on the isolated CBD naturally derived, we know that when it comes to other cannabinoids, acids, form, CBG, etc., we know that we lack some studies, and that we know as well that authorities would be very happy to have fresh new data, especially when it comes to THC, that we have updated data. Therefore, we have decided to hire a server provider that would have helped us, that would have guided us through the novel food application through EFSA. We have chosen a server provider. Actually, our member have chosen the server provider because we have provided the 8 server providers, and we have chosen ChemSafe in Italy. And this server provider decided for us and designed with us during these 2 years the specificity of our product, the one that we will try to secure, as well with the toxicological studies needed to support the security and to find the right dosage of these cannabinoids for our full spectrum especially. So we knew in, I cannot remember, Vicky, it was end of 2020, middle of 2019, already end of 2019, we already got the big cost of this project. It is 3.5 million euros, which is a lot. So it makes much more sense, even more, to join forces, to collect some money and to invest on the behalf of the sector. So the property of the studies will stay in the sector and will be divided into and jeopardized into many actors with avoid dominance on the market of any company. So it's very fair, very democratic, and it's paying off apparently, because our consortium submitted a couple of novel food applications both in UK and in Europe, but this is not your question. So where we stand that we have submitted, and we are in the process of waiting some results coming from the tox studies, because our tox studies on the behalf of our members already started beginning of January 2021.
All right, and just to make everything clear, so you submitted both to EFSA and the FSA. Could you explain a bit why you submitted that for the UK market as well, and how is it going on at the moment?
Yes. One more time, a small step back. We have submitted our novel food application, the first one, the CBD, the isolated naturally derived CBD, in September, beginning of September 2020. In this moment, UK was still Europe. Therefore, our first submission of our first 2 application, meaning the isolated natural and the synthetic CBD, because in Europe, I'm sure that everybody remembers that for a small period of time, hemp was considered a narcotic. Synthetic was the only option left for the sector. So we have submitted as well synthetic CBD in EFSA. So in this moment, there was no need to double submit anything else, because UK was Europe. Then Brexit happened, and we were informed by FSA, by reading on the website, that there was another submission, another way to go if you intend to market your product in UK. The process, the safety of the process, I would say this is the same. Basically, UK count the safety and understand the safety of hemp derived product the same way of Europe. Is stay in place. What have changed are the administrative requirements, that the way in which you are submitting a novel food application is slightly different, but it has to be done. Otherwise, you cannot access this market, because this market is not Europe. Therefore, middle of February, we have submitted on the behalf of our member to FSA 2 novel food applications. Why 2? Because the rule have changed a little bit, because we did not probably read very well the fact that FSA needed, I cannot remember, Vicky, 6 weeks working, 6 30 working days to process to get the validation, but the validation was not on the table anymore by the 31st of March. So we have submitted 2 novel food applications, the CBD isolated, naturally derived, and the full spectrum. We have left aside for the moment the synthetic again because we got 6 weeks less than expected. We have done that to be compliant on the UK market, and then we have learned the evolution following as all the attendees are doing the website, meaning that by the 31st of March, the requirement has slightly changed. Instead of requiring both validation and administrative check, only administrative check was enough to stay on the market. And we were very happy that both our product, both our dossier were considered administratively approved by FSA, which allows our members to sell their product on the market. Nevertheless, it's worth it to be mentioned that this is the first option to stay on the UK market, but there is as well option 2, which was imposed by FSA, meaning if you want to stay on the UK market, you need to be on the UK market prior to the 13th of February 2020. Your product has to be there. So we have done, let's say, 99% for our members. We have done all the submission, the technical submission. FSA get back to us with question. It's a normal procedure. EFSA get back to us with question as well. So we have replied to all these questions, but then the last 1% was left in the hand of our members, meaning our members needed to submit prior to the deadline all their products that were on the market and that they intend to market in UK, and to support this product by providing to FSA proof by evidences that this product were on the market, meaning invoices, email, etc. This bit was done, as I said, by our members, but the rest was done on the behalf of our members for FSA as well because of Brexit.
Perfect. So now it's clear that novel food is one of the main policy, let's say, dossiers that EIHA is dealing with, but maybe it would be interesting for the audience to understand as well what other lobbying and advocacy actions is EIHA taking at the moment.
Yeah, indeed, even if it's big, for us, novel food is not all. We have other many policies that we are currently following on a daily basis because we defend from farmers till the final product. So all along the supply chain, there are many, many issues. Be reassured that we are not only doing with CBD. It's so complex and there are so many that we have divided the plant into 2 parts in EIHA, the upper part and the stalk and the fibers. So I'm dealing with the upper part, and already on my topic, there is not only novel food and consortium, but there is as well THC in food, which is an issue because currently Europe and member states are reflecting on imposing a regulation on THC in food, which is super good because it will harmonize all different member states that are having today different approach when it comes to THC in food. So this is a very, very big dossier and complex dossier that we are working on with Commission and member state for me. And then I share with my colleague Francesco that is dealing with the fibers as well. Another topic, which is feed. Feed, it's divided in 2 for us. There is pet, which belongs much more, again, to my competencies, but then there is as well feed for agricultural. So, and it implies extraction as well. So my knowledge is necessary and Francesco's knowledge is necessary as well. So we have this co-shared policy, which is currently going on. Member states are reflecting in deleting some feed entries, which would be a pity. They want to delete it because it's not clear, and because they want to tackle pet food, sorry, they are tackling feed as well, and this would be a mistake. So we have asked, when I said we, it means the European Industrial Hemp Association with COPA, COGECA, and COCEREAL, so the European Association of Farmers and Cooperatives, and COCEREAL, the association defending the producers of cereal, plus the Federation Defending the Pet Food. These 4 associations have sent a joint letter together to the European Commission and Member States asking for a delay, asking Member States, please wait. EIHA is conducting toxicological studies on animals that could be used and read across to derive other things for feed, but as well for feed additives. So this is one cross topics that we are currently running. And then when it comes to the bottom part of the plant, endless policies, I would say. First, it is on the table, I would say, the common agricultural policies. The common agricultural policy is the biggest policy of Europe. Is agri, is related to agri. Of course, hemp is in these policies because hemp is an agricultural product. When it comes, for instance, we have tableted quite a lot of amendment in the common agricultural policy because we believe that the hemp sector deserves some clarity and some extra possibility through the agricultural tools, which is the common agricultural policy. So we have tableted different amendments. There are some of them a little bit more known. For instance, EIHA have asked since my day one to restore the level of THC in the field up to 0.3%, like it was in 1999. So this amendment, this provision is in the common agricultural policy. So guys, as you can imagine, we are monitoring very closely this amendment and these policies. These policies will imply as well other big changes that are less perceived by society, because 0203 is easy, but another huge possibility that the Francesco was able to achieve was to have marketing standards for hemp and its derived product, which means a lot more, but Vicky, this would be necessary in another call. And then when it comes to the bottom part of the plant, there are all the possibility stays in the bottom part of the plant when we speak about biomaterial, textile, but this is less related to policy, probably. It's more related, yeah, there are policy bits because we are contributing to the consultation of the Commission to textile and other plastic policy, etc. But then it's much more a matter of creating networking between the operators, between the different chain of the supply chain when it comes to textile, biomaterial, and etc.
Perfect. And we know also that EIHA has been working on standards together with other international associations. So perhaps you could speak a bit about this. What is EIHA doing? And above all, why are standards necessary for the industry? What is the importance of it?
You're right. You see, the format is very smart because by working with a colleague, you know, when you forget to mention some topics, yeah, indeed, Vicky, you're right. We are working on standards. So why standards? So first of all, standards is a very strong word, but what we mean is simply to provide to our members a tool to be compliant on the market. So it's a matter of being compliant with what already Europe has decided. So to collect all the provision necessary to simply to respect what, and the problem of hemp and cannabis is that all the legal parts that belong to this plant are fractionated many regulations around. So it's always in the same. So what we are trying to do is to collect all the bits and pieces around the different regulations, to put them into a paper and to allow our members to be compliant on the label with what they said, in the way they say, the health claim, no additional claims when it comes to cosmetics, there are no other claims, etc., etc. So we are compiling this document, providing these tools, but why now? Because when it comes to UK, we think we try to provide a solution, I would say, to FSA and all the authorities to be able to track this product on the market, because the FSA wants to know what was on the market and what there will be on the market. And they need a way to distinguish between the product that were under a novel food application, hopefully soon validated, and others that are not, or the one that have passed the administrative checks and the one that have not. So in the idea of supporting the administration, but as well the controls on the fields and the authorities on the fields, we have imagined a sort of logo to be distributed among the member and the partner of our association. This logo will carry your mandatory information, meaning batch or lot number, the date, the expiring date, but as well, we will propose you to add in your label another mention that would be the mention of your principal contract, the number of your principal contract, and the numbers of your clients, meaning the famous sub-licenses that we have created within the EIHA consortium. So by giving these two numbers, FSA will be able to immediately trace and see if this operator is or not compliant on the market. So this is what we are doing about standards indeed. But we will present all these projects, Vicky, in November, right? This is the idea.
Now let's go to the more tricky questions. So taking into consideration what we have discussed so far, maybe it would be interesting to know, how do you see the CBD market evolving in the years to come? And let's say, how do you see the CBD market in Europe 5 years from now?
Thank you. Thank you for the question, Vicky. So it's super complicated to reply to this question because you have too many parameters that we are not controlling. We are not in full control of all these parameters. We have some insights from the market. We have some insights from the regulator, but the combination of all these wheels plus Jupiter and Mars is unknown today. So the ones that are doing the forecast are very brave people, because I have no clue. There is matrix one is regulatory bodies. How long it will take? We have been delayed once. I really believe the Commission will be ready at the end of in autumn 2021. So we will gonna have some clarity. And in this moment, I believe that what the Court of Justice has said are important principles, and I want to be sure that Europe integrated this principle in the same way within the European acquis. Then there is a matter of compliances on the market. We are doing these standards because, guys, honestly, we have seen some mistakes on the labels, some health claims / strange logos. So we need to do our part. The companies that we will be success and will be there in 5 years will be the company that shows compliances, shows science-based approach, shows transparency within their process, within what they put on the label, and they are able to vehicle this information through the label in the most compliance way as possible. This will be the client that will survive in this complex framework of legality and policy. Then there are the policy bit, in which way member state will perceive hemp in 5 years. Again, I don't have the crystal ball. Nevertheless, on the market, we are in Europe, by being here in Brussels, we have the privilege to discuss with Commission, Member State, and European Parliament, and we are seeing positive signal coming from the institution and political. With even the fact that the member of the European Parliament and Deputy Director General of DG Agri attended the EIHA conference, I want to see it as a really, really positive signal. I mean, if they do not trust hemp or want hemp, they do not show up at the conference of the European Industrial Hemp Association. The companies that will be there in 5 years will be the one in our consortium, Vicky. This is the right reply indeed. No, I mean, what we are doing, we are trying to help our members to stay on the market by providing them the right document as soon as possible, but we cannot squeeze toxicological tests. So this is what we are doing. So I believe that I mean, it's not that I believe, but Article 26 and 27 of the Novel Food Regulation, it implies the IP protection of the tox study. So when you launch and you produce own fresh data, you can claim the confidentiality on this data for our members. So I can imagine that our members in 5 years will still be under the protection. So they will have a successful business because compliant, simply.
Perfect. And now, before you mentioned synthetic CBD, we know that we have seen a booming of synthetic CBD in the last years. Why do you think that is? And also, do you think CBD synthetic could hamper the development of natural CBD, perhaps? How do you see these two coexisting?
Monica, Monica, Vicky, you are working for me or what? I mean, these are super
I'm just asking the most frequently asked questions, which sometimes are difficult to answer.
Yeah. So, synthetic CBD increased because was the only option left. So and synthetic CBD is linked with two products for me, food and as well cosmetics. As always, one small step back, April 2019, the European, March 2019, DG Grow said only synthetic CBD is allowed into cosmetic. If is the only product that is allowed, it's normal that the market buy more and wants more synthetic CBD. Then we have submitted a couple of positions. We have informed member states that we were not happy about this decision, and we were very pleased that already in the autumn of the same year, meaning October 2019, the leaves came back in the famous causing database. So as well, a little bit of natural was allowed to be put in cosmetic, but still CBD was completely banned, and CBG impossible to have it on this list at this moment. So in this moment, we have seen a peak already with causing, with the causing dossier. On top of that, the synthetic CBD went even strong because later, 1 year after, July 2020, the European Commission said hemp is a drug, naturally derived is a drug, cannabis is a drug, so you do not touch to this plant. So imagine another rush of synthetic CBD. So what's the future for these two both components? For me, they are not interfering each one because even the people behind these two products are quite different. What I advocate for and what we do is to have both, at least to have the synthetic, but as well the natural one, because last but not least, I want to inform all the audience, but I'm sure they are aware that hemp is quite good for the environment, for the society, for the economy, for the green, blah, blah, blah. We're not starting again. So I would say that let's have both. We have as well submitted the novel food application for synthetic CBD. So let's keep both. Probably one is more stable, is exactly, there is no nature, so there is no other evolution probably. It's much more easy for the synthetic molecule to be stable, while with the natural one, and the beauty of the natural one is the interaction with nature, is how the temperature increase, the flowering evolve, the humidity, while the other product is more stable, so probably suitable for other paths than food supplement and cosmetics. This is my reply.
Good. I would go back to an easy question. So we know that EIHA advocates for a whole plant approach. Could you explain the reasoning behind it, and why do you think it would be the best model for the EU?
The whole plant approach is very easy, meaning we plant in a large scale, open air, as an agricultural crop, and we try to use all parts of the plants. Easy. We can do it. There are machineries that are able to go into a field and to collect and divide the triple use, the so-called triple use, the fibers go to a market, and then the seeds go to the food, and what is left, the biomass left, the green material goes for extraction. For us, this is the perfect balance, because a farmer that is behind there is a farmer, I mean, so could benefit and could have additional income for all the parts of the plant, and is much more attractive. And because it's good, farmers should be forced, should be encouraged to plant hemp. So this is already the reason why. The only reason why, because is the perfect combination to increase the income of the farmer, to have a diversification, to provide a different type of good product, to absorb a lot of CO2, to clean the soil, to avoid pesticides. So it's a perfect combination that we should, the model that we should go for. there are other models and there are other tendencies on the market. We have Switzerland in the middle of Europe, and we, of course, we have partnership relationship with this country, as well with US and Canada. We have seen different models. What we believe is that probably we have an oversupply of CBD in this moment and extract in general. We have seen price have collapsed in the last year, especially for the isolated CBD. Therefore, we do not believe that we need more, but we need better quality and probably locally produced for all these reasons. If there was no pandemic, probably not, but now I believe that we should reinject some money into Europe by creating local supply chain and rural development and attract new farmers, a new generation of farmers to the agriculture, because this is at the end what we need the most. And this is what counts the most as well in CO2 emission. 40% comes from the agri side. So we have to tackle that, and hemp can contribute. So this would be the model that would be the most suitable for Europe, which is, again, is different from others. I'm open to suggestion.
And well, this links to my next question. So in terms of competition, what is your view on the hemp market in Europe compared to other countries around the globe? It's a tricky one again.
Sì, it's a tricky one. So in terms of competition, first of all, we can speak about competition only when we play with the same rules. So can we really say that Europe was competitive with 0.2, going around with fibers plants, while other countries were already reflecting and breeding new varieties? Probably no. So probably we are out of the middle age shortly. Hopefully, if the Common Agricultural Policy will be voted positive, so we will already start fighting with the same, on the same level playing field with other competitors. The hemp market in Europe is small. Compared to other crops is ridiculous, I would even say. We are growing, this is very good. We are showing good performance in the last year. This is very good, but still we are small. Just to inform the attendees, when it comes to the big table of the European Commission collecting all the data for all the crops, guys, we do not even have a dedicated category. We fall within the category other crops. So imagine how small we are in Europe. We are growing, but we are still small. While in Canada and US, the market is much more stable and has been growing quite significantly, especially in US after the Farm Bill, but as well before in Canada, driven by other markets that are not yet in Europe, but somehow they helped to launch the whole cannabis as a botanical family industry. I don't think that Europe can compete with these two markets. I think that we have lost probably too many years. Canada will still be very strong. Canada is a good model because they tend to use everything for the stocks, for the fibers, for the feed material, for the food, etc. US is a lot based on cannabinoids, but is big as well for the fibers, and they are converting a lot into fibers, which is good. So place number one is gone, number two is gone. Now, will Europe be the third country or will be China? I don't know China. I don't know that much Chinese people. So I have heard that when China do something, they tend to do it quite big and fast and strong. So I'm happy that the Commission will come out with hopefully a positive interpretation, and then Europe as a whole, not 27 different member states, not 27 different regulations on THC, not 27 different regulations on cosmetics, all together, same framework, clear, stable, stop legal uncertainty. We cannot play with a catalog that has changed 3 times in the last 20 years. This is not fair for any sector and any industry, especially because in 1997, they even told us in writing that was not a novel food, and we have believed them. So we have built and injected quite a lot of money in Europe. So Europe can play a card, la carte du savoir-faire. we do it correctly, we do it nicely, we do it probably better, good fibers, good quality. We know how to farm, but we need political will and legal certainty. If we got these two components, the market is there, the industry is ready. We commit some mistake, we write some anti-whatever on the label, but we will comply, helped by our standards, hopefully.
That's good. And now just to wrap up and very quickly in 2 sentences, why someone like an individual or a company should join EIHA?
Because information is crucial, because if you are not informed in the cannabis sector in Europe, you are dead. You have no idea what is going on around you. The things are evolving so quickly. Member states are taking important decisions. So be informed on your sector is crucial for the existence of any business in Europe today. If you work in wine, if you work in other sectors, it's still important, but you can survive because you know that there are others that are associated and driving the right message to the different representative bodies like we are. Because you are part of something, you are part of something that you believe. We are here for you 5 days over 7, right, Vicky? From 9 till 6.
More or less.
More or less, a little bit more, but we are here for you. So just join, because we need your inputs. We are not on the field. We have no idea how the measurements are count, whatever. So we need your inputs, but as well, you need to be informed. So, and if you trust your sector and if you trust what you do and if you like what we are doing, just support us, I would say, and participate at the working group, because we need information.
Perfect. So thank you, Lorenza, for your answers. We just want to let you know that we are open to any further questions that you may have. You can always send an email to Lorenza, to myself, or to info@EIHA, and we will be happy to get back to you. So this will be my concluding remarks. I don't know if you want to say something else, Lorenza.
I've already spoken quite a lot. Thanks for the invitation, and I hope to see you all in person.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.